How often do you accomplish the goals that you set? Is a question that most people might not be as proud to answer. But this is literally going to be the last video that you're going to need when it comes to setting a goal, whether it be for entrepreneurship, a business idea, business in general, New Year's resolution, it doesn't matter, right? My name's Kyle Jerome Carter, and I'm about to go in. So let's get to it. I got my whiteboard here, so I'm going to be taking notes, and I want you to take notes too. Now, by definition, a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, basically an aim or desired result, right? And there's so many ways that you can go about it. And if you've taken time to read a couple self-help business books, then you're going to have understanding of the basics, right? But it's more so about how everything intertwines and works together to make sure you have a goal that you can not only understand, but you're motivated to follow through and execute. And that's why we're here. So basically, a goal is broken down into three parts. You have to answer two of the three, and you have to understand the third. So you basically have to answer, what do you want, and by when? And then the last part is you have to understand why, right? Now, whereas those are three parts to the goal, I'm gonna put together, once we're done that, how time plays a huge role in this, so that not only do we have a solid foundation of what a goal is, the psychology behind it, but how you can actually feel motivated and have a strategy to follow through and accomplish it, right? So if we take a goal, right? Don't mind my handwriting. It's horrible, right? And I said it's basically broken down into 3 points. What do you want? Oh, come on. What do you want? By when and why? Let's start with the first one. What do you want? Most people say, I want to be rich. I want to quit my job. I want to become a chef. I want to pass this exam. I want the certification. But you have to be very specific. In this aspect, I'm going to be breaking it down to entrepreneurship, obviously, in business. However, I want you to keep an open mind, and I want you to get your pencil or your pen and paper. You know, though I got my whiteboard, I also got this, because this is another thing that's gonna help you follow through with your goal, right? I'm gonna get both practical and conceptual. So the actual step-by-step ABC 1, 2, 3, as well as the why behind it, the woo-woo, you know what I mean? Because it all plays an aspect to it. Some people disagree, but it is what it is. So if we start by, what do you want? Well, like I said, many people make videos about goals, but I'm gonna show you this way, right? You don't have to necessarily live by this, but you're gonna understand why this is by the end of the video. So when I say, what do you want, as it pertains to business, most people think of something realistic. And I'm here to tell you, when it comes to setting your goal, and this is a part that most people don't necessarily understand, we're not setting a benchmark when we set this goal because we want this goal to happen. What we're doing is setting the end goal, right? So when somebody says, I want to make $1 million, okay, why 1 million instead of 900,000? Why 1 million instead of 1.1? Why 1 million instead of 100,000, right? Some people don't have a concept of, let's say, $84,000 a month, 12 months being $1 million, opposed to wanting to just make it all in 1 month or whatever it may be, regardless if they have a product, service, or a system or process that they can sell to make it happen. So when I say what it is you want, it could be, I want to make $10,000 per month from this business. I want to make $1 million from this business. I want to match my take-home income. Let's see, if whatever it could be, $2,750 per month for my new business. Most people watching this video are going to be in entrepreneurship already. However, there's a lot of aspiring and new entrepreneurs that are working a 9 to 5 that just understand they need more money and they want to create something of their own. So I'm going to be intertwining not just examples of people that are out and they rely on their business, but also people that are working hard. Because I've been there and I know how hard it can be when you have to dedicate 40 hours to something and then also put in extra hours that, as I say, the 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5 to create something, right? So you have to be very specific. Other times it can be vague, right? People might say, I want to make enough money to quit my job. I want my brand to have 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I just want my business to make me happy, right? But when it comes to setting a goal, this first aspect, what do you want? You have to get very specific. Those examples are neither right or wrong. It all depends on the person. And when setting a goal, or when you set your goal, you want it to be your ultimate goal. It should be what you really want. And granted, I can't take credit for this. This 2025, I've been an entrepreneur and in entrepreneurship a decade now, 100% for the last 5 years at least. So I understand it could be intimidating. Some people don't allow themselves to dream. Some people are surrounded by people that limit them, say, why would you do that? You can't reach this. You haven't done this. Why are you dreaming so high, right? But that's not what we do. If you're going to put in the work to sacrifice to create something like a business, it makes sense to make your end goal what you actually want, not just a benchmark, like I said. But we'll get there and you're going to have a solid understanding as to why everything is placed out the way it is. So what do you want? And by that, I mean, if you're starting a side hustle and you want to make enough money, what's enough? Look at your finances, look at your living situation, look at the living situation you want to be at, right? This is a question. This question is, what do you not want? This question is, what do you want? Not what would you be happy with? When answering this question, the only silly answer I can say is when somebody says, I want to make $1 billion for my business. It's like, okay, I mean, you can make that your goal, but whatever. Now, I want you to actually write it down. Some people are going to have to take a moment to really figure out if it's monetary, what that number looks like. And if you come up with a number, it can be a ballpark, but why not get specific? If somebody says, you know what, I want to make $600,000 a year. Why? Because I just love the way that $50,000 a month feels. It just sounds right. I want to make $50,000 a month. And that gives me an end goal of $600,000 because by having the $600,000, I have all my debt paid off and I can live here and buy this and do that. And if they have no pushback as to why it's $600,000 instead of $590,000 or $610,000 or $700,000, $400,000, then hey, they got what it is they want, right? Now, the second part, buy when. If it's a monetary amount, if it's an award, no matter what it is, it's a dream until you put a date on it, right? If you want to make $75,000 from your business, okay, but by when? What's the actual date? For example, bad examples are, I want to make $75,000 in the next year or so. I want to reach 20,000 subscribers on YouTube as fast as possible. I want to win this award within the next two years. Whereas a good example would be, I want to make $75,000 by my mother's birthday. Whatever that day is, by when. I want to make 20,000 subscribers on YouTube by the first day of winter. Let's say that's, December 21st, 2025, right? I want to win this award at their next ceremony. And you know that their next ceremony is June 12th, 2026, right? Now, we are getting something that allows us to follow through. We have more clarity. And you're going to see the higher we get in clarity, the easier this stuff tends to get, right? So now, granted, a rule of thumb, and this varies, however, I must state this, right? I've seen the effectiveness and actuality of goals reached are better when necessarily set like 12 months. It could be 18 months, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be a 5-year goal, so long as that's what it really is. Most people, if I can already get them to say a number that they truly want and care about, they're limited themselves by saying, all right, KJC got me to say what I really want. I don't know, let's say, what's the catchphrase? I want to make $1 million. And I know I want to make $1 million, but I don't know if I can do it fast. So you know what? I'm going to just say I want to make $1 million by this time in 5 years, or in this time in 10 years. Is that what you want though? Like that's cool, but is that what you actually want? Like, do you want that to be the case 5 years from now? And granted, that doesn't mean that a person could have the highs and lows and be close to it and stuff like that. But don't be afraid when making this goal. You have to have a solid understanding that in this part, in part 2, by when, and even in number 1, you can't put any time or attention into how it's going to happen right now. We're going to get to this. I said this is a comprehensive video, the last video that you're going to need for a reason. So believe me, if you can look at how long this video is, you're going to have a solid understanding. So when I say by when, what do you want? Now, if it's, let's go back to this first example. I want to make $75,000 by my mother's birthday. And let's just say that is, I don't know, it's January now, and mother's birthday is September 1st. If that's what you want, that's what you want, right? If you're allowing fear to come in, that means that you're going to basically say, I'm going to push that back and her birthday 2-3 years from now. Don't do that. This is a goal. This is your goal for a reason. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be within 12 months, like I said, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you got to have those two figured out, right? Now, when it comes to why, when it comes to why, your why is basically the fuel that you're going to need to get the job done when your tank is on empty. So it makes sense to be doing this for the right reason. Now, granted, I know not everybody that watches these videos is a good person, though I would love the people that watch my videos to be good people. But at the end of the day, you want something that you're proud of, right? Most people don't even want what they want because they want it. They want what they want or think they want what they want because the person that they like or look at says that they want what they want, when in reality, that's not what the person that they look at wants. All right? So it takes a moment to, and again, this is much deeper than it needs to be, so I'm only going to just briefly touch on this. It's easier to know why you want something when you really know yourself. When you like yourself, when you love yourself, when you can be by yourself, when you can spend time alone in silence, it makes it much easier. But not everybody can do that. Or at least not everybody has the capacity right now to do that. So without getting too philosophical and too deep, overly woo-woo, right? Why are you doing this? There's a video I have on my Instagram, and I'm going to flesh it out even more so for everything entrepreneurship. But some people aren't meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people aren't meant for entrepreneurship. So whereas this example is financial under the realm of entrepreneurship and starting a business or being in business, you can still apply these goals to something else. You don't necessarily need to be pushed and propelled into entrepreneurship by society, right? Yes, it's cool to have your time freedom, location freedom, do what you want, but you're still working. Unless you had just built an asset that pumps out so much money that, I mean, you know, but why you've set a goal is huge. When it comes to business, you typically want to be proud of it. You don't want Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner to come and everybody says, how's your business doing? And you're like, because you're doing something underhanded or something shady, or just something that's not cool. So make sure that you establish your why and a good reason. Now, the journey of entrepreneurship gets hard. And this part right here is for the people that are aspiring or new entrepreneurs. Logic is going to come and kick your butt sometimes. And it's going to say, yo, we have this right here. This is good. This is safe. This is consistent. Why will we be doing this? And when it comes time to double down and move forward on your goals, your why is going to help. So most reasons people want to leave their job and get into entrepreneurship typically are they want more money, they want to have control over their work-life balance, or it might be because of passion and they want to leave a legacy. But those aren't necessarily the real reasons why. The real reasons typically are they aren't happy or aren't challenged enough where they are. They are aware that more people are getting rich quick and have control over their life, what they do, when they do it, and how they do it. They just have an entrepreneurial spirit to build something of their own. Those typically are the reasons why somebody's going to actually get into entrepreneurship. Now, to help with the why, let me zoom out real quick. Let me move over here, right? So if that's your goal, and we know what do you want and by when is the foundation of it. You have to answer those two questions and you have to understand the third, why. Like I said, not everybody can figure that out just easily. So I'm going to help you out. So let me break it down a little bit easier. So do you want it? Is this what you want? Are you being influenced by the ways of entrepreneurship, or is this what you want? It takes stopping and having a conversation with yourself to know the answer. If it's yes, does that come from you or from somebody who you're around? Number two, do you want to build something real? Can you be proud of your business? Do you want to build this, or is this something temporary and something you want to hide under a rug a year from now? 3, are you willing to commit every single day? And then 4, do you have the time for the gestation period for your business to grow? Do you have the time, the money, the energy to fail before you figure it out and succeed? I've seen so many people that have that drive, right? They know what they want. They know by when, but time kicks their butt. They're like, looking at their watch like, man, I want this. I really do, but it's not happening the time that I want. And that gets many people, you know? That's why you have to have an understanding of what you're signing up for. And that's why I'm covering everything entrepreneurship. And that's why also I'm making the prerequisite, because anybody, the barrier of entry is pretty low when it comes to getting into entrepreneurship. But at the same time, I feel people should be prepared with full transparency when it comes to it, right? Now, if we have a goal that we want to make 75, if we want to make 75K by 9, come on, 9/1/25. And the reason why is because we know we are meant for more, and we are willing, oh, come on, willing to finish the journey. Oop. The journey. Let's see. If we know that we're willing to finish the journey, so to recap, what's a good goal with some bonus KJC flair, right? What do you want, as in, what do you truly want to achieve? What will be the most worth it? And what will make you so happy? Number 2, when do you want it by? What's the exact date? Ideally, quote unquote, within 12 months, but give no thought how it will happen, just when you want it to happen by. And then 3, why. Why are you doing this? And why are you starting this journey? Or if you're already in entrepreneurship, why are you continuing to go to this level compared to where you are right now? Again, both are going to be fuel for you to continue this and get this thing done. So, next part. So if we know, let me clear off my whiteboard. If we have the answer to what do you want and by when, and we understand our why, now we get into time, right? What do you mean by time, Kyle? Well, I kind of alluded to it earlier when I was talking about, do you have the time to do this, the time to do that, it not working by the time somebody wants, whatever it may be. Now that you've declared what you want and by when and why, time is the last part of this first section. Actually, no, how am I going to say this? Time is the last part for this part. No, time is the last part for this section, right? So now that you've declared what you want and by when and why, the level of clarity that you have is better than most people starting anything. Now, to take that clarity and add understanding, we're going to have to talk about time. Again, I can't take this part myself. I credit for myself. We're going to talk about the word gestation. What's gestation? Gestation is basically the development of something over a period of time. For example, the gestation period of a baby is 9 months. And again, this is not out of my brain, though I love to think and I come up with some brilliant stuff. This actually came from one of my business partners, and I was like, oh my goodness, it makes so much sense. It's probably in some other books and somewhere else, but as it pertains to not just entrepreneurship, but your goal, you have to have an understanding of time and the time it may take for your business to instantly succeed, fail before it succeeds, go up, go down, whatever it may be. So when we talk about the gestation period, a baby is 9 months, cats and dogs is 2 months, a frilled shark takes 3.5 years, ducks about 1 month, lizards 3 to 4 months, snakes 40 days, and your business, we don't know that yet. You could be one of those people that their business takes off within the first, second, or third try, But at the same time, you could be somebody whose business doesn't make profit for a year, 2 years. I think there's a statistic that says most business owners or something like that are successful. It's their 5th or 6th or 7th business that ends up being the one, right? Now, granted, how many LLCs have I had? 5 or 6, I think, right? Didn't take that many, but starting a business or even a side hustle is a commitment, and it's easier to see that through by having a solid understanding that it could take a while. Just remembering taking a while to be where you want to be is better than settling for the pain of regret or not trying. Many times people throw in the towel. They just can't take it anymore. I spent all this time, all this energy, all this money. I'm doing the right things, but at the same time, I just can't do it. It is what it is. Not everybody has the time for something to work or the time for something to work on them, right? The people who make it and those who make it faster than others tend to have a clear goal, understanding it'll take time, and show up even if for a little every single day to work on their business. Time and attention. Same as the time you have and your attention are your biggest assets. Understanding time and dedicating to the process allows you to take advantage of the law of attraction and draw in what you're focusing on each day. What does that basically mean? That means if we know as an entrepreneur, we want this goal. We want to make $100,000 from our business. We know that we want to make that $100,000 by January 2026. Or let's say we want to make $8,400 a month because we know that's a run rate of $100,000. And we know why. We're in this for the right reasons. It's not because somebody else. This is truly what we want. That $100,000 or that $8,400 a month is the exact number we want, and we know that. right? At that point, we covered our what do we want and why. Now, when it comes to time, like I said, we also have understanding that it may take time. You know, it could happen tomorrow. It could happen in a month, a year from now, 17 weeks from now, 22 days from now. The only things that we can do, the only things that you can do to help your goal come faster, other than understanding those three things, what do you want, by when, why, by truly giving in and saying, you know what, it's going to take time. Now, I'm going to get to the good part. Now, we're going to attract it to us. There's two more parts. We're going to attract it to us by, I mean, technically it's the law of attraction, right? The word of the year is frequency. At least that's my word of the year. And what I mean by frequency is you need to get on the frequency of what you want. And one way to do that is to truly allow yourself to just be immersed and have a visual image of this goal of yours. If you want to be making $8,400 a month from your business, or you want to make $100,000 from your business by January 2026, then what exactly does that look like? What does that feel like? What's your day like? Once you start taking a moment to really do that, and this is only for the open-minded, a lot of people, or many people, I don't want to necessarily fail, but they diverge from this path and it takes much longer for them to get back on it, is when they understand the practical, but they dismiss the conceptual, right? You got to feel it. You got to feel it, man. You got to think like, damn, if I get that, or when I get that, it's going to be great. Oh man, life's going to be like this. When I get that, this is how I'm going to be living. These are the people I'm going to be around. This type of business I'm going to be doing. Take it away from money. Say you want that goal of a promotion at your job this time next year or in 6 months. What's that going to be like when you got that promotion? By taking, you've already done the prerequisite of a goal by knowing what do you want, by when, and why. In coupling time, now you can start to feel it. Because as you feel it, you're going to move yourself into the mind state and even the body state to do what you have to do. Because there's no shortage of days when you don't feel good. All right. You have this cool, big old goal. You want to be this, you want to accomplish something, but it's raining, it's cold. You don't want to go nowhere. I'm not perfect. There's certain days I don't want to do stuff either. But at the same time, we have to. When you're on that frequency, it doesn't matter if it's cold outside, because you know, oh, I'm close. I'm building the foundation of what I need. So I'm a day away. I'm a call away from what I want, right? So it's very powerful to have yourself turn to that frequency, raising to the frequency. And I can get into how everything from sound and is just waves and vibrations, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. In this deep dive, we're going into goals, but it would be, what's the word? It wouldn't be smart of me. It wouldn't be in your best interest if I just keep it surface level and just say, set a goal, set a date, figure out your why, and understand it takes time. The first step after that is going to be to really feel it and have an understanding that you can do this. And once you continuously do that, you're going to imprint it on yourself that you're not only going to start doing it when you don't want to, but you're going to start attracting and actually noticing the things that align with that as well. Right? Right. Last part. So I guess technically in the beginning, I could have just said the 5 things that take a goal, right? What do you want, by when, understanding time. What do you want, by when, why, understanding time, frequency, I guess number 6 things you got to do for a goal. The 6th thing is, that's the goal. That's the mission, right? That's it. That's where you want to be. Now, hear me out. If that's where you want to be making $8,400 a month by January 1st from your business. You got your why, you understand time, you feel it. You know, you're writing in your journal every morning and you're saying, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that this happened and I'm in this position and I got this thing. How do you get there? I mean, that helps you follow through, but that doesn't add to the level of clarity we want. If everything right there is like a 70, 80% clarity, I still want you to be like 99, 100% clarity, right? I mean, 100% clarity when you got it. You want to focus on the inputs less than the goal. So if we know, let me try and go back to my whiteboard because my handwriting's horrible. If we know that the goal is 84, come on. If we know that the goal is $8,400 a month, we're not going to be using that as a barometer every single month, every single week, every single day. Oh my goodness, we didn't get there. We failed, we failed, we failed. No. That's the main goal. That's the main goal for a reason. We're not being realistic, right? What we're doing is what we can every single day. So with that being the main goal, our focus is on what do we need to do day in, day out, the little things that add up to get us there. For example, let's say you're in real estate, right? Let's say you're a realtor and you want to make $8,400 a month, and you understand that you're 3 or 3.5% of commission, that you need this many properties, right? So if we know we need to sell X amount of properties to end up with this per month, we're going to detach from that end goal of 8,400, and we're going to attach and just propel ourselves into the inputs or the activities that it takes to get it done, right? So what does that look like? If you have to go to so many events and you have to shake so many hands, if you have to promote yourself on social media, or if you just have to make some cold calls, we're attaching ourselves not to getting yeses, we're not attaching ourselves to closing a deal, but the inputs that get us there, right? If we take it away from money for a second and somebody wants to be a chef and they're self-taught, but they're going to school and they understand that they have this goal to do it by this time, this is why, I understand time, and they visualize it, your input or your daily activity might be, okay, every single day I need to experiment with one new recipe. And by doing that, I'm going to have a better understanding of each individual ingredient and how they work. I'm going to understand at a molecular level or whatever it may be, how it ties into, complements, helps or hurts the dish. If you're just in sales, it could be a numbers game, not a numbers game to make so many calls, but it could be to have so many in-depth conversations, right? Detach yourself from the end goal of that, in this first example, $8,400 a month, and realize that it's going to take the daily efforts stacked over time to keep compounding. And again, this is why you have to understand time. It might not work instantly, but that's not a problem. We're not doing this to get rich quick. We're doing this to start a real business, something we're proud of, right? So we would love if it came easily, if it came fast, but at the same time, because we're building something real, we're dedicating to this and we're treating it with the proper respect it deserves, right? So with that being said, we have to focus on the activities day in, day out. If each day, not just necessarily Monday through Friday, maybe you want to take off Sunday, so Monday through Saturday, you focus on a certain amount of activities. Monday, I'm going to do this. Tuesday, I'm going to do that. Wednesday, I'm going to do this. Thursday, it's more about the consistency. And through the consistency, you're going to get better. You're going to learn more. And through learning more, you're going to be ready so that when the opportunity comes for something big or something valuable, not only are you well versed and have a solid understanding of your craft, your industry, whatever it may be, but you're now in a position to close that with minimal effort. You know, going back to that vibration, if you feel it, if you live it, if you know that it's coming, that what it's going to be like, you're not going to have as much anxiety when it comes time to perform. So that's basically how we set and accomplish our goals. So let me recap. We have a clear understanding of what a goal is. It's broken into 3 parts. What do you want, by when, and why? We have to answer what do we want as in what do we want as the end goal. We have to understand that we need to put a time to it. When do we want this by? And these two, what do you want and by when, we're not using necessarily logic to figure out, is it realistic? We're shooting for the stars for a reason, because especially if we're getting into business or we've been in business and we're pushing for this, we're pushing for it to win. We're not doing it to kind of win. And then you have the why, a solid understanding of yourself and why you're in this. This is, again, going to be the fuel to your car when the days that just doesn't feel right. When you're like, I'm tired, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I don't feel like it. Your why is going to help you show up even more. And then after that, understanding that that's what a good goal is, we're going to have understanding that it might take time. It might be fast. That isn't on us. What's on us is to do the work. And the best way to do the work is to feel it. People don't do a single thing that they want, people don't do a single thing if they don't feel like it. And if they're forced to, you see how people are, you see how you are when you're forced to do something you don't want to do. So that's why you have to feel it. Get on that frequency, turn yourself up, have a solid understanding of what it will be like, and allow yourself to live in that, even if it's for 10 minutes a day. And then after that, we're really going to just focus on detaching from the end goal and focusing on every single day, only doing the inputs and doing what's needed, doing the activities so that we can be prepared for when the time comes for us to actually attain it. And that's how you put together, understand, and execute and attain a goal. I'm Kyle Jerome Carter. This is Everything Entrepreneurship. Last video that you need on goals. Feel free to subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. All right.